Welcome back. Columbine, Parkland, Sandy Hook, the names alone signify tragic moments in our nation's history. The rash of school shootings have sadly become a common occurrence throughout our community. It's what led local New York filmmaker Wilfred LaSalle to take the issue head on to raise awareness about an issue that affects all of us. Here is the security guard.
This isn't the end of the world, Amari. There's other ways you can serve the community without becoming an actual police officer.
This is my dream. This is all I've ever wanted to do. My daughter, she's everything to me. There's nothing I wouldn't do to protect her.
And writer, producer, and director Wilfred LaSalle joins me now. What made you do the security guard? What made you create the film?
The film takes place in Brooklyn, New York. The main character, Omari Russell, he wants to be an NYPD police officer. He gets psychologically disqualified from the NYPD, and he is shattered by this. His world is just in shambles. And so he has a daughter named Maya Russell, and she has a bear that's a coping mechanism named Mr. Snuggles. And she brings this bear to school on a daily basis, and the teacher deems it to be a distraction. And he goes on this crusade of advocating for his daughter on so many levels. He's going against the school board. He's going against the principal and the teachers. Fast forward towards the end of the film, where Omari is faced with a flight or fight situation. A school shooter enters his daughter's school, and Omari has to make a split-second decision. When you're making a film like this has been an issue that has divided Americans for many years. Yeah. Regardless if you are a Republican or a Democrat, this film is going to have something for you, and it's going to resonate with viewers across the world.
What conversations are you hoping it sparks? You know, when you do something with art, you're hoping that it reflects society and people get something out of it. What are you hoping the conversation sound like?
I hope it gets very serious. As you know, school shootings have become the norm here. And it's something I wanted to bring awareness to. Now, the film discusses both political sides. On one end of the spectrum, you have the Republican Party, in which they're advocating for their Second Amendment rights not being infringed on. They're saying that guns don't kill people, people kill people. Yeah. And on the other side, you have the Democratic Party, who are advocating for stricter gun laws, for stricter mental health checks, and the ban of assault weapons. And so the film goes down the middle, and it's done with a level of integrity and respect. Now, as you know, we have become a very reactive society and not a proactive one. And what I mean by this is we have a mass school shooting. There's an abundance of victims, unfortunately, and we want change and reform, and we fall into these repetitive cycles of nothing getting done. And I'm hoping that the security guard is that entry point and gets those conversations started.
This is a personal project for you. Talk to me about how personal it is. Were you involved in a school shooting, or did you see someone involved that inspired you to write the film?
So the film is an adaptation of my personal life. I was an NYPD school safety agent for many years. A lot of people don't know that. And the actor, James B. Randolph, is playing the character of Omari Russell, but a lot of things that you're going to see in the film are adaptations of my life. For instance, when you see the trailer and you see him saying, "It's a stop sign, not a Coca-Cola sign," I thought that was hysterical because that's something that I encountered while working. But I am hoping that this film sparks an interest. A lot of people need to understand this is ultimately about our children's safety. That's what this is about. I hope it's a big wake-up call for America. I hope that when people see this film, they realize that a parent's worst fear is getting a phone call that their child was involved in a school shooting or something far worse. And so the film approaches that from a parent's perspective. And I'm hoping that it sparks the change that we need. How many more mass shootings are we going to have until our government decides to take real change? That is what I want to leave the viewers with.
What was the deciding factor that said, hey, I want to do this in the film? Why that way?
Because it's radically different. There's never been a film made like this, ever. When I was making the film and I had the idea, I said I couldn't understand why this film was never made, why no one came to the forefront and said we need to make a story about the ordinary man. Who advocates for those stories? That's where LaSalle Productions came in, and I felt the need to make this story because it was very personal to me, and it's personal to the parents who have children in the public school system across the 5 boroughs.
When can people watch it? Where will it be available? Just give us that information.
The film will be available in the summer of 2025. It will be streaming on major networks such as Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and Tubi. We're now in talks with Peacock to have the film showcased on their platform as well.
When it's all said and done, do you think you met your objective with making the...
Absolutely. The whole intent of this film was to raise awareness. The whole intent of this film was to tell the story of the ordinary man. The whole intent of this film was to unite people. it doesn't matter what your political views are, what your beliefs are. We want to tell the story respectfully on both sides and say, hey, we all want some sort of change. No matter what that change looks like, I think we all can agree that we all want the same thing.
I appreciate you being with us.
Thank
We
you for
appreciate
having me.
Making the time, man. And that's all for today's show. Thank you so much for joining us. And for all of us here at Fox 5, I'm Kendall Gray and hope you have a great week.